place. It was sunny, and then it started to rain, and then sun again. And I was about to go and play some football in the afternoon. I put on my bag, walk out. The rain started to fall. I came back to the house. Anyway, I just got back from my afternoon evening walk. It's around 11. Change of scenery because the network is really playing up right now due to the weather. So I have to find a corner of the house that actually receive proper internet connection. So here I am. Anyway, today's vlog will be live vlog. Sorry, force of habit. Today's live, it will be short and sharp. I have two issues that I want to talk about that I came across today. So the first one is the women supporting the mother that kills 3 children in the US. And yeah, I actually come across it today. So this happening was, I think, 3 or 4 days ago. And seriously, I didn't understand why the women, I think in America, somewhere in America, they support the woman that unalive 3 of his children. And they were there showing full support. So as I was reading through, I think those women were like liberals in America. So America is like a very divided country when it comes to political view. You have the conservative, Republican, Democrats, liberal, socialist, capitalist. America is full of it. It's one of the most divided country when it comes to politics. My own opinion. So yeah, they were like talking about and supporting that woman. I really don't know why they was. I thought they were. At first, I watched the video and I thought that they were like showing support for the children that died, but actually it was the opposite. They were showing support for the mother that killed the children. I mean, feminism have come a long way, and now we have ended up at this point in life. All right. Back when during the Industrial Revolution in France, uh, feminism started because women they want to go to work and air their opinion, and before that, women were treated not like human being but just a vessel. And I forgot the name of the French lady that started the feminist movement, but it started it pretty well, and we have come this far until 2026. And I think more of something always spoil the soup. So I was watching this video and I thought the women in America they were like in support of the children that the mother killed, but it was actually the opposite. They were there to support the woman that actually unalived her children. And debate was going on, and all these women that were at the protest to air their opinion. When you saw them, they're like, you know, mothers, Some of them, the kids probably will be my age, and some of them probably will be grandmothers to children. They were there to support the lady that unalived 3 of his children. And who will be in their right mind would go and support such movement? It is like sometimes when like I was sitting down and thinking about it, like how how can you go and support? And this is not, I don't know, something is going on with all the mothers in the state. This is actually the second mother that unalived their children. I think the first one was, I think, a black mother, American, unalived 3 of his children, and I think one escaped. And I think he stabbed the 3 of the children, like knife stab, and only one escaped. And this woman here, I think she's the second one. And it really boggles my mind that, someone like that who, unalive the children will have great support from, you're gonna see clearly like their mothers. I'm sorry, I cannot show the videos and because and the pictures because I'm using my phone to vlog this. My laptop is ruined by the typhoon, so I'm still working on it. As soon as I fix my laptop, I'm gonna do OBS um, live so I can say all this. But it is very very frustrating, and you know, USA is one of the most freedom of speech country in the world. That's one thing I like about the state, is that you can, openly air your thoughts and your opinion, and nobody gonna go against it. I mean, people will go against it, but nobody gonna stop you hearing their opinion. But this woman, they went and support the mother that unalive their children. This is just this way beyond personal opinion now. It is like way too much. I think feminism have come so far that now women are just using it to, do all this stupid, it is stupid, protest to air their opinion to support a woman that, unalived three of his children, and they all were wearing pink and protesting, and, you know, proudly present themselves as, women support women. And the interviewer was going and asking them, and some of them, I think most of them didn't know what they were doing. I think one or two, three people were there, and that's the mindset of like the ladies. I don't know if this is the same mindset for women across the globe. I don't know, but if it's American women are doing this, and they are like, American are like four front runners of everything. Like people look up to them. I still don't know why. Like before, when social media was not a thing, we always think that American were like these people who use common sense. But when social media explode, you just see like there are some countries that are actually better when it comes to like common sense and, critical thinking than Americans. But anyway, my point is, I don't know why these women were there supporting this behavior, and it's really sad that there will be like young girls in America or even around the world, because this thing actually hit the world news, so they would think that it is okay to be, you know, be a parent, and if you don't want to raise your children, you just, unalive them and then move on and be okay with it. And I really really feel sorry for the father and the family of the father of the children, going to, you just imagine you going to court and trying to, you're trying to, get justice for your children, three children, right? And you went to the courthouse and you just see all these women wearing pink, not supporting you or not supporting your unalived children, but supporting the mother that actually did the unalived thing. It is crazy. And one of the one of the couple, a man, he was about to get married. I think a week after the court thing in the U.S., and I think his wife went to that protest and come back. The wife went to the protest and then come back, and then he broke up the marriage, which was like one of the most like it's a, what will I say? It's the best decision, the right decision to do. If I mean, he was getting married to a woman that's gonna have his children, and that woman, 2 or 3 days before the wedding, he actually went to protest the opinion of, trying to protect the woman that, unalived the three children. And the lady actually text, and I actually every day she said, I think she said, so we're really breaking up because of an opinion, like an effing opinion. And the guy actually replied, is that, breaking up with you, or it's the guy actually telling her that it's not breaking up with her because of the opinion, but she's breaking up with her because of the opinion of the fundamental difference with their values as the man and husband. And I think the guy actually did a right choice, because just imagine getting married, and I mean, everybody knows that getting married leads to having children. Like, that's one of the most fundamental thing about marriage. You don't just get married just to be, you know, a couple. You get married to start a family. And he actually break up with the fiance, because the fiance actually went to that protest, that trying to protest the lady. I mean, protect to support the lady that unalived their children, her children, three children. So she broke up with her, which is a good thing. You don't just imagine the, he'll be like looking always back and worry about his children in the future when they get married, because the woman was so, like, comfortable going and supporting a woman that is, you know that unalive their children. So that's one crazy thing I watched today. And still, I think I read it, I read and watched uh, around in the afternoon. So I don't know if it's just an American thing, or this is like just feminism just going overboard now. Because if it's this is feminism just going overboard, we really need to rewind the clock down. And girls nowadays, like young girls now, need to redefine what feminism is. Because I think 2020, 22, 22, 23, 24, weirdly the LGBTQ plus community hijacked the feminine movement, especially the, I think, the lesbian community in the, you know LGBTQ community. They hijacked the feminist movement, and they made it into like a gay thing, to support, because ladies, they always fall into this trap of supporting any movement, just like the protest of the unalive of the children. So anyway, that's one thing. Oh, this is good stuff. It's Philippines' best brand, best product. So the second thing that I want to talk to you, it will be a short life, because this is not my usual spot that I do live. It's just because I have problem with the network. Second thing is that the Irish people, I just watched this now. The Irish people actually start to wake up and start fighting for their rights, and start fighting for their land. They start fighting for the people, because one of them, I think, apart from French and England, Ireland. Ireland is one of the country that is start to be overrun by immigrants, especially the refugees, right? And I've been watching. I just watched like few minutes ago, and it's all over like Twitter and Instagram, and like the Irish people are actually now fighting back to get back their land and protect their culture, their people, their country, which is a good thing. Um, there was a protest in, I don't know, one of the places in Ireland called the waterfront. So if it's a waterfront, probably it's in the beach harbor area. And there was a old lady that was protesting refugees that, like, seriously, island is getting worse. If you see they've been like blowing up with immigrant, not immigrant. Immigrant is such a broad term. Let's say refugee and asylum seekers. Okay, because there are some good immigrants. There are actually people with paperwork that goes through the system, through the point of entry to a country to work. So when people keep saying that, oh, immigrants are doing this, I think immigrant is such a broad term that people use, because there are some good immigrant that actually work and travel and work, overseas. We have the Filipino overseas workers that, they travel abroad and work. Like, you cannot say immigrant, because that's umbrella that covers everything. So let's just say the refugees and asylum seekers. So Ireland have been fighting back, and I think Poland made a good statement, and now everyone is following Poland, and Ireland is start beating up all the refugees in Ireland. There was this young kid who was yelling at the local native Irish people. he got he got punched by I don't know, a grandpa, a 70-year-old grandpa. Clocked him, bro, fall on the ground on the pavement, and he didn't even do anything. So Irish people are fighting back, which is, to me, it's like, bravo, bro. You have to fight for your land, your people, your culture, because I don't know. Weirdly, these refugees that they come now, they are like, before refugees, right? I'll say the past refugees, probably 2000 and back, they were like the good refugee. They actually run away and trying to seek refuge because people might kill them back in their country because probably of endowment instability or oppression, and they run away. Good refugees, good asylum seekers. The asylum seekers now in the year 2024 and above, I think some of them are just taking advantage of the asylum seeker and refuge. I don't think most of those people that looking for refuge are actually running away from problem. You know, I think they are the problem, and they are just trying to get out in a way. So like the refugee now, the refugee of year 2024 and onward, well, let's say 2020 and onward, is mostly of people that are taking advantage of the system and taking advantage of the kindness of other countries, and they are just using that and taking advantage and moving to this place. And when they move there, they always cause problems. And there was a news 2 weeks ago about um, Uganda, the Ugandan football team, the captain, right? I think he plays in Belgium. He plays in a local club in Belgium. He's the national team captain for the Uganda national team. He got robbed from his valuables and killed. And you know what? The perpetrators were, were black men. They were like black men robbing a black man and kill him in a white nation, right? This happened in, I think, Beirut, I think, in Belgium, and Belgium is 99.9% white. And feel sorry for him. He's the Uganda national football captain. He got robbed. They stole his Rolex, his phone, his necklace. African. They always wanna dress up. Yeah, to look classy. So they stole everything from him, and I think they unalive him also. So it's really, really sad. And the funniest part is that it was not the white skin, yeah, Caucasian, that robbed him and killed him. It was black people. So almost definitely people from his own continent of Africa did this to him. So yeah, that's why these people who take advantage of this refuge. movement, and the kind heart of other countries are just going there and causing problems now. And there was, I don't know if you guys ever watched this guy called the Dutch Maniac. He's a IRL streamer who just travel around Europe and going completely menace about a refugee that you know why am I keep saying the refugees that are in like European country, and he actually went through a small town in France, all right, in Paris actually, Paris, and he went through the town, and at first when you he was like putting the camera like this and you see the town, right, it was not even like France. It was not even like Paris until he started saying this is Paris. They were like refugees just standing there selling peanuts and selling street sailors everywhere. And as soon as he was walking there, I was actually like flabbergasted because when I saw it, I was thought, okay, probably this is a third world country. I thought it was like somewhere in Africa, no, African country, one of the African country. But no, the guy turned it like, no, this is France, this is Paris, it's just a small town, and the refugee take it over, and it is dirty, and people were just selling stuff on the corner, and they were actually trying to hustle him to stop recording, and he was just like saying like, this is Europe, I can record whenever I want, which is true. It is not only in Europe, every country has the same rule. If you go out in public, your privacy ends when you leave your apartment. People can record you and do whatever with the videos, right? And like when it comes to underage children, yeah, they have like different uh, privacy laws against that. But anyway, the Irish people, I actually start fighting back, which is I love it so much. I was watching it and I'm like, yes, finally, after Poland, now the Irish people are fighting back. The prime minister now is trying to look for ways to get rid of the refugee and asylum seekers. They're trying to, push them back because this is, I think, the United Nation, not United Nation, United Kingdom. They have the, um, I think, agreement with the United Nation or something for like humanity thing. That's the thing I don't understand about humanitarian. They're trying to solve humanitarian problem in a country, but yet you pull out people from that country and said, okay, we're gonna fix your problem. Why don't you come stay in Ireland, or why don't you come stay in England and we'll fix like when you start weeding out people and tell them that you know to fix their country, you are not even fixing the problem, right? The problem is still there in their homeland, and you're just bringing people out. But anyway, that's a topic for a different day and time. Right now, I'm just really thankful that the Irish people are actually fighting. They were like the marching. The refugee was just marching with their flags, and the Irish people was just start singing slogans and swearing at them. Oh, it was so good. It felt so good. Anyway, so I think the there was like I think the refugee camp is somewhere in Ireland, waterfront Ireland. I don't know which part of it, but I think every waterfront is like in front of an harbor. So I think the refugee was trying to claim the town. The Islamic refugees were trying to claim the town and trying to make it their town. And there was this guy keep saying like, I am a refugee and this is going to be my town, or something like that. And the local will start fighting back on that. And I think that causes a lot of commotion in there. And also there's a building also in, I don't know if it's in the same area or a different province of Ireland, but there was like a refuge asylum seeker building where all the asylum seekers were in, and they were causing a lot of problems. So a group of Irish people just went, burned the place down while the asylum seekers were still inside. I mean, it's not funny, but you have to do what you gotta do if the government is, protecting them. And yeah, they burned the whole building down, and all this refugee and asylum seekers just run away. Go- Yeah. Anyway, I think one of the things that I find it funny also in Ireland, and there was like I think one of the political advocate of Ireland, he was talking about it on his TV, in YouTube and media. Ireland, they pay the refugees children per children 140, I think it's pound or euro. I don't understand. I don't really know what the Irish people use, but let's just say pound. So they pay 140 pound a month per children. And there was this guy from Bangladesh who bring I think 5 or 6 of his children to Ireland, and then um, each individual, like adult, they get the island government pay them 1,400, let's just say pound or euro, and then he has 6 children, and the 6 children, the government pays them 140 euro a month, and this guy was like was yelling like this was so unfair, and the twist to that is that that Bangladesh guy and the wife, they are actually from Italy, and their children were born in Italy. So their children are actually citizen of Italy. Now they move to Ireland as refugee. I don't know how. I mean, if you Italy is already a nice place for you to stay, so they seek refuge in Italy. Didn't work or something. I never get to the bottom of it, but they move to Ireland. And then in Ireland, now Ireland have to pay him and the wife 140 euro each. And then he has like 5 children where he have to pay 140. The government, the Irish government, they will pay each children, 5 children, 140 each. And this guy was like complaining like, oh, there is not enough. I said, I have 6 children, there is not enough. The rent is high. And the guy was like, the, there are homeless people in Ireland that can't even get proper government funding, right? At least a little lump sum for the people. No, but the refugees are actually getting more than what the Irish people has. So this guy with 6 children has the audacity to complain. So the Irish people were just ganging on him and talking to him, talking shit about him. So yeah, that was like, oh, it's so interesting, man. Irish politics is so nice. I mean, I've been following through, the refugee movement, asylum seekers, because before I usually feel sorry for them, and that was like maybe 2020 downward. I usually like, oh, sorry, they're refugee, they run away from rebel fighting or something. But lately, it's been like people taking advantage of it. So I really don't know if I am like I felt like I'm gonna like feel sorry for them, because I really don't know if they are actually like refugees, or they are just taking advantage of the goodness and kindness of other country, other nation, who are willing to bring them in. So like now when people talk about refugee or asylum seekers, I actually don't feel that enough sympathy for them, because like at this point you don't know who actually really need refuge, the place to seek refuge. You don't know, because nowadays people are taking advantage of the system. And I can be here, I am living, you know in a good place, right? I have a nice place to stay. I'm blessed. The good Lord bless me every day. I can buy stuff like this or even go live like this. But I can just throw all this away and seek refuge in somewhere. Go to Europe and tell myself that I'm refuge, take advantage of it and go stay in Europe. Like that's the reality of people seeking refuge nowadays. Some of them they don't actually run away from their problem. They actually just want to go and live in another country. And some of them they don't have proper qualification to go live in that country. They just force themselves to go there, and when they get there, they don't know what to do. So they're doing the same thing that they did back in their home country. Is just steal, rob, destroy, vandalize things, disrespect people. So that's why, like on this day and age, I find a little sympathy, just a little sympathy to those people who actually seek refuge. Unless you prove to me that you really, really are asylum seeker and you are seeking refuge in another country, then yes. But then the Spanish, there was this video about a group of men, right? Military age men. There was no women and children. They were seeking refuge in Spain, and they were like getting out of the boat or something to go to the refugee camp. That's the thing, right? This is the thing that I'm talking about. It's that people are taking advantage of the system, the refugee system, and they are using it to their advantage. And most of these refugees are not properly screened, right? As I've said earlier, if I can just say I'm a refugee, I just run away from, my uncle trying to beat me up, so I'm just gonna call myself a seek refuge somewhere in a European country. They're gonna get me in. That's the thing. It's so simple. It's so easy. That's why like a lot of African nations are going there. Now you see, France is now Africa, right? The last World Cup, the World Cup in Qatar, right? That was the saying, like France is now Africa. You see, the last soccer World Cup in US, you see the French national team. It's all African. Most of them and were not born in Africa. They are actually refugees, and now they're playing there. But excuse me. Oh shush. But, so yeah, I think um, the government, or I don't know, the United Nations need to rethink and properly screen people who are seeking refuge, because most of them are just taking advantage of you know refugees and the system. And I think there was this video circulate, I think last year. I think he was in Switzerland, a young Swiss boy who saw like two people, and he was telling them that they are not really refugees. They are just using the system, which is so true. And he was yelling at them, said, "You need to go home. You don't really need, refuge. You are not seeking asylum." You know. So most of I was I was just during the day I was reading this refuge and watching through. Ireland was fighting back to win back their country and forcing the government to make changes. And I was thinking at the top of my head, like, what if some of these people says that they are refugee and they are running away from the problem in their country, let's say a rebel, and they said, oh, they're a group of rebel, hunting us, trying to unalive us, and then they went and seek refuge in a country, and then the rebels in their home country would be like, who are these people? We don't even look for them or trying to unalive them. Like that's something was popping up in my head, because the system, refugee system, people now are abusing it, and seeking refuge everywhere, that people who actually need saving are the ones that left out. And I think the one that really needs saving, they are the one that actually be refuge in their own country, right? Like in their own country, or my country also have a refugee camp. We also have refugee camp. It's run by the Australian government, so it's on a most autonomous um, province, island province in our country. So we also have a refugee center run by the Australian government. And oh no, we actually have two. We have one in the capital, which is run by my home country, PNG, but that one is for the West Papua. If you don't know West Papua is a indigenous people of Java that the Indonesian government didn't never allow them to get their independence. Actually, they got their independence, but now their country is run by Indonesian government, and nobody actually talks about them. So I'm really sorry for them. So most of them they seek refuge in our country. So we have one. We have the second one is the asylum seekers refugee. It's in called Manus Island. It's way on the Blue Sea, and the Australian government runs that, right? So I, if people actually want to seek refuge, right, that like going through proper screening, they would have gone to all these centers, right? They either go to the, or there's one in Jordan, I think there's one in Guatemala or Colombia, there's one in um, Cameroon, I believe. So there's like refuge camps. So when people go there, they actually like properly screen. I believe that these people they skip all this and go straight to like the country that they want to go and seek refuge are the people that don't really need refuge. Like they don't really need that. They just, you know, take advantage of the system and they go there. Because people who actually need the help are actually the people that goes to like refugee camp, and sometimes they stay there for 5 years, 6 years just to get the proper screening, and then they go into the country, whatever country that the human rights people choose. Or I don't know how it works. Do they have to choose their country, or the United Nations have to choose the country for them? I don't know. I have to look into that. But the people that go directly like to England or to France or to Spain or to Italy or even Ireland, I don't think those are the people that actually look for safety. I think those are the people that just take advantage of the system. And it's sad because those are the people that causing a lot of problem in Europe. And I personally want to travel to Europe. I was supposed to go last year, but I didn't go. And now just seeing the news that Paris, even Paris is not safe anymore. Paris, they say that Paris is Africa now. You go there, people are gonna pickpocket you or grab you or do daylight robbery on you. And it is scary that I just wanna go and experience, Paris, yeah. We see it on movie, read it on magazine, you know, riding bicycle and eating bread, wearing those beret, or wear all those tux and look cool, like a 1960 gangster. I want to do that when I go to France, but from the videos that coming up now, like showing on social media, like I don't want to go there now. It is worse, and England is worse also. Yeah, but anyway, that is today's life, and then where is this world going to?